Hello guys, and welcome back to another exciting YouTube video, and today I'll be continuing with my series on the GTK-C library for making a graphical user interface using the C programming language. And today I'll be showing you how to place or input a input box or an entry box inside your GTK-C application. So without further delay, let's get into it. So first thing, I'll just create a separate folder just for placing my projects. So I'll name it entry box. You can name it anything that you want. Then I will just cd into that folder. Then here I will just create a blank C file. So I will be using Nano as usual to write my code, but you can use Visual Studio Code or Vim if you're familiar with it. So Nano, and let me name it entry.c. So we have a blank C file, so we'll be writing the code from scratch. So first thing first, I have to include the library. So include #include followed by gtk/gtk.h. Then go ahead and just initialize my main function int main, pass it some command line arguments, which the first one is the argument count argc, followed by the argument vector or array. So character, which is a pointer to a pointer to a character. Then with that, here we'll just return 0. So this is just the basic skeleton or structure of a simple C program. So as you can remember, what we have to do to initialize our GTK app. So first of all, I have to initialize it. So GTK init. Then here I will pass the address of argc, the argument count, and the address of argv, just like that. Then at the bottom here, just let us call the main event loop, so GTK main, which keeps our window running until we close the window. So with that, we are ready to just create a simple window. So I'll just create a simple object, GTK widget. So remember, everything in GTK is a widget, so that's why you'll see GTK widgets all over the place. So followed by, I will name this widget a window widget. Then after naming it, what we have to do is just initialize it by saying window is equals to GTK window new, just like that. Then open the calling brackets. Then here we have to specify that this window is a top level window. So GTK window top level, just like that. Then after doing that, now we have to show the window onto the screen, or paint the window to the screen, and it's simple. It's just GTK widget show all, just like that. Then we pass in our window, so window, just like that. With that, we are able to create just a simple window. We can go ahead and compile it and see if it runs. So I'll save it, then exit, then I'll compile using GCC. So GCC followed by the name of the C file, entry.c, followed by the O flag to generate an output file. So I'll just name it just entry. Then we have to configure the packages to tell the compiler where our GTK libraries are. So I will be using pkg config followed by the dash dash C flags, then dash dash libs, and then GTK plus like that 3.0, just like that. So just press enter. So we don't have any error, and let us see if it has generated our output file. This is our file, so we can go ahead and run it. So entry. So as you can see, we have our simple window here, but if I close it, you can see that the program is always running. So to fix this error, so this is a new thing I'll be showing you. Just open the source code. So over here we can use some instance method that it's called g underscore signal connect. So we'll be seeing this function from now on. I'll be explaining to you what it does. So what we have to do, just pass in the window widget, then followed by the type of event. So we want, if we destroy or we cancel or close the window, it should stop the processes and just exit. So destroy, so followed by GTK callback. So let me check. So we have to use the G callback followed by the function. There is a predefined function that may be used to close the window. So this is GTK main quit. Now after doing that, now the third argument is the data that you want to pass in that function, but for us we don't have any data, so we will place null over there. So with that, it will fix our problem. So what I will do is save, exit, then try recompiling it again. So after doing that, let me run it. So sorry, so it's entry. So as you can see, if we close our window, it exits. So our first problem is solved. So let us go back to our source file and start now adding the entry or the input box widget. So as you know, we'll just create another GTK widget object. So GTK widget, and I will name this, I will name it entry. So you can name it input or whatever you want, but I will name mine entry. The second part is just to initialize it by using, just say entry is equals to GTK entry new, just like that. Then what we have to show it on the screen, and as you can remember, we have to use the GTK layout functions, and we have covered the container and the box. So I'll be showing you how to add it using the box layout. So what I will do here is go ahead and just declare another widget, GTK widget. We'll name it box. So this is where we'll be placing our entry button over here. Then what we'll do here, I'll just come over here, just reinitialize again. So box is equals to GTK box new. Now remember, it accepts two arguments, one being the orientation of the box, so it may be vertical or horizontal. So I'll go ahead and say GTK let us use vertical in this case, orientation to be vertical. In our case it will be vertical, then followed by the spacing or the padding between that will be used to space the elements placed inside the box. So for now, let me just put an arbitrary number 5. Then after doing that, what we have to do is just below here, let us create a container. GTK container, add. So we have to add, now we add the window and we have to convert it into a container. So GTK container followed by now the window. Now we have this window, we have to convert it into a container. Then we pass in the element that we want to pass in inside the container, which will be the box. So everything has to be inside the container. So we are placing a layout box inside a container layout. So if that is clear, but if you have any question, you can ask on the comment section. I will be happy to reply to you. Now after doing that, what we have to do is now pack the entry button inside our box layout. So how do we do that? We'll be using the GTK box pack start. Remember here you can use start or end. So end will place the element that you want to place inside the box at the end of that layout, and start will place the element at the start of the layout. So remember to just terminate with a semicolon in each statement. So next we have now to say, to give where we are placing the entry. So it's the box, so remember this one. Then the second argument will be the thing that we want to place. So entry. Then the third, fourth and fifth argument, the next argument is a boolean, which if you want your box to expand, so you can use true or false. So we'll use false. And then the other one, if you want the layout to fill the screen, which I will use false, followed by now the spacing that you want to give it. So we'll just use 0. So false, false, 0. Then we have to convert this into a standard box, but we'll be using the GTK box just for good measure to convert this into an action box. Then after doing that, we are good to go. So we can go ahead and try recompiling it and see what we have. So I will exit and just rerun this program. So we have no errors. Then after that, I have to just run the binary. So like that, you can see we have our beautiful entry button here, and I can input some text over here. So we can make this program more interesting by just adding a button. Then after adding a button, when it's clicked, we will print what has been inputted inside this entry control. So let me close it and just return to my source code. So what we have to do, I will create a button. So to create any element, you have to declare it as a widget first. So widget, and I will name mine button. Then over here I'll just reinitialize it by saying or creating now the actual instance of the button. So GTK button new with label, like that. Then here we have to input the text that should be placed in the label. So you can say like click me, for instance, click me, like that. Then what you have to do is just put it inside a box for it to be placed. So putting it in a box is very simple. As we have done in the entry, it applies the same into a button. So GTK box pack start, like that, followed by now this GTK box, which will convert into an actual box, followed by the control we have to put in the box, which is our button over here. Now followed by these options, we don't want it to be expandable, and we don't want it to be fillable. Then the spacing I will just place 0 for good measure. So if I save this and try to recompile it again, you can see we have an error. I've misspelled the word false over here. So where is it? Here it is false. That's a typo. So if I recompile it again, there is no error. And then if I try running it, so entry, you can see now we have our program here where we have an entry button, and then we have this button that we have to click. Now I want, if we click this button, it should just print something on the console here to see what we have typed into the entry. So I'll be showing you. So what I will do, I will just return back over here, and I will first create the function that should be executed when the button is clicked, and it should be a static button. So static void, we can say on button click, just like that. And this function takes 2 arguments. So the first is a GTK widget, which is a pointer to a GTK widget. So widget followed by the data, which is a G pointer, and this will be data. Then after doing that, what we have to do is now write the logic over here. So first thing first, we have to convert this data into a GTK entry input. So GTK entry, which is a pointer, so I name it entry. So let me use small case entry, which will be GTK entry semicolon. Now placing the data inside, so this argument over here. Then the next one will be extracting now the text that is inputted inside or is filled inside the entry box. So how can we do it? So we'll declare just a constant, and it is a we'll name it it's of type gchar. So this is a character, this is a GTK character for just storing the string, so which will be a pointer. This will be returned to where we have this function that says GTK entry get text. So this function will return a string which will store inside this text variable over here. So where are we getting it from? The entry data over here. Then after doing that, we can print it by using the inbuilt G print, which is provided by GTK, and we can say something like you have entered, then I will use percentages for a string, then /n for displaying it on a new line, then just place my text over here. So the second part, which I have not illustrated in my previous videos, is how to connect now this button to that listener. So how can we connect this button to that function that when it is clicked, it executes the function? So what we have to do, remember this gsignal connect. This function, what it does, it just takes a widget and connects it to a callback or a function that should be executed when a certain event happens. So most of the time when you are handling events, we'll be using the gsignal connect. So let us connect that function to our button widget. So I'll be using gsignal connect followed by now the widget that we want that is involved, which is the button widget. When we want it, when it's clicked, it does something. So the second argument is an event, and our event is clicked. We'll be seeing events in more videos, but just understand there is this clicked event which happens when something is clicked or a button is clicked, followed by now the callback function. So we'll be using callback. Now we'll use our already defined function over here, the function over here. So let me show you. So this one over here, the on button click. So let us connect it. So this one over here, so our function is called on button click. Now the final argument is the data that we want to pass. Now we want to pass the widget itself, the entry widget itself, this one over here. This one is what is the one that we are passing as data to our function. So I'll be using this entry variable like that. With that, we are done. Let us save it and just try recompiling it again. So boom, we have an error. We forgot a semicolon somewhere, so that's my bad. So let me add the semicolon here and just exit and try recompiling it. So no errors. So let us run the program. So this is our program. Hopefully if we click this button, it should show the text over here. So let me say hello. So you can see you have entered hello. I can say hello world like that. So our program is working. So let me close it and just go back to our code and let me give just a quick recap. So today we have seen how to create an entry input. So you just declare a widget, you give it a variable name entry, then reinitialize it by using GTK entry new. Then after doing that, we are placing this entry inside a box layout over here. Then we have also seen this gsignal connect function over here. What it does, it serves like a a function that you can declare to listen on event if something happens, or if you have defined a function that you want, if something happens or if an event happens, something should be executed. So we have seen that there is this window and there is this event called destroy. Then you pass in the function. So gtk mean quit, in this case it is already defined inside our gtk library, so you don't have to write this function, it's already predefined, followed by now the data that you are passing to this function over here. So we have seen another example of the button click. So gsignal connect, pass in the element or the widget button, followed by the event which is clicked, followed by the function that should be executed when this event is triggered, now followed by the data we want to pass it to the function. So as you can see here, this is our function that we have defined. So it takes a widget as the first argument and the data. So mind you, these data types like gpointer, gchar is just predefined. They are predefined data types that come with the library. So over here we have just converted this data into an entry widget. Then here we have extracted the data from that entry widget, and now here what we have done, we are just printing it. So it's that simple. But if you have any question about anything that we have done today, just feel free to ask, and I will see you on the next video. Thank you.